Hello. Hello, iced coffees. Ahoy! Permission to come aboard. Is today the day for the other sharks? Guys, this background has a whole other background. It's so big. There's other sharks. Here they are. This is Shark WeCap episode 4, recapping night 4, which means, if you know how weeks work, we're more than halfway done. First episode, Monster Under the Bridge, about the Hammerheads that are really fucking big, living under that big bridge in the Florida Keys. It's 7 miles long, it's called 7 Mile Bridge. Creativity! So like legend has it, or I guess like local rumor has it, same thing, that there's like a giant hammerhead that might be as big as 20 feet living under the bridge in the Florida Keys. So they're gonna go find it. We got your Neil Hammerschlag, we got you Tristan Guttridge, and we got you Laura McDonald. So the pylons that hold up the bridge, which is a word that I'm casually using as if it's in my vocabulary normally, I would call it the sticks that hold up the bridge. And so the pylons that hold up the bridge are creating sort of an artificial reef, which has become a blooming habitat. They think that some of the hammerheads are so big that maybe they have different DNA. Dino DNA! I'm in your blood! To test if they have separate DNA, they gotta get DNA samples where they go and oh, like an oak jaw. Oh no, why did I think of it? Oh no. This is why I didn't get into science. Literally my whole plan was to be a marine biologist until it got to like dissecting things, and then I was like, never mind, comedy. You're welcome. Fun fact that a monster under a bridge makes me think of is obviously bridge trolls, and my mom's maiden name means man by a bridge, so I assume I descend from bridge trolls. All right, so they're gonna try different techniques to get the big old hammerhead. Hammerheads are a little Guillermo del Toro-y, if you think about it. So Tristan has a separate plan from Neil. They're gonna go separate. So Tristan saw a hammerhead that had multiple tags, which I have so many questions about. Maybe it's a look. This girl's going to Claire's, she's got a punch card, she's like, fill me up, tag me. This is the second night in a row that someone has made a bruv, which is a baited underwater remote video device. Anyway, I'm gonna make one. Why not? So Neil and Laura caught a bull shark at one point, and I'm like, oh my God, Shaliz, is it my baby? Was it her? Oh, I was waiting for them to say the gender and size, and was like, come on, 8-foot female, because what if it was my baby? This episode really got like my whole apartment on board with Shark Week in a different way. Especially when there was like an octopus eating a fish head, and it's very pretty, and then swam away, and immediately a giant hammerhead was like, and everybody went, whoa, and I was like, yes, they like it too. Tristan decides he'll go out with some fishermen as another technique, and there's like a big ass one that starts like trying to eat the camera, and it has a little hook in its mouth, and that always makes me so sad. Help them, help them. They acoustic tagged a hammerhead. Neil and Laura decide to go night diving. Oh fuck, no thank you, it's so scary. Night diving is like a stress drain. Like you can only see certain things and stuff just disappears and you don't know where you are, and like the weight of everything, it's like where you can't run fast enough. I did that at camp also. What was with my camp? I have to know more. Tristan went to a shipwreck at night. So they're on the wreck and somebody goes, Tristan, I think I see something. But I thought the old lady dropped it into the ocean at the end. Well, baby, I went down and got it for you. Aw, you shouldn't have. Oh my God, a big fatty showed up, just a big fat hammerhead. Oh my God, night diving. They're like, oh, it's too risky to follow it. Yeah, I would say that's true for most wild animals. Don't follow them. They couldn't find any nighttime DNA samples. They found a baby hammerhead. It's so cute and little. From the air, you're like, oh my God, it's little. It's a little baby. So they got a little baby hammerhead, and they're like, oh, is it maybe a nursing ground where the little babies hang out? So cute. They're so excited about the baby hammerhead that they all are like, freaking, let's jump in our shorts. Like they don't even change. They're just in the water, and they gotta put it in tonic immobility, but it's so little, they just kind of go, and oh, Eventually they're out and like there's fish around, and this huge, like 17-foot hammerhead shows up and starts eating, like trying to catch a fish, and it's swimming away, and it gets it by the tail and just like eats it alive, feet first. They analyze their data that they collected, and some of these sharks are related, and then they were like, this has sight fidelity. Whatever that means, congratulations. Adam Devine's Shark Lair. Not for me. It's not all for me. It's not all for me. Not all of Shark Week is for me. I have to accept it. Accept the things you cannot change. One of those is that every episode of Shark Week is not made just for me. Austin Gallagher, thumbs up. Andre Musgrove, thumbs up, and visible abs through his wetsuit, which I didn't even know was a thing. And double thumbs up, and if I had more than 2 hands, I'd give more, is Alana Velicott. Like so many girls this year. I'm so happy. So they're taking all the dudes from Workaholics on a trip, because Adam Devine has done this before, and the thing with Workaholics is they're bad at their job, and that is funny in scripted shows, but it's a little wonky in improv. So there we are. I've been too brainwashed to let this go, guys. You gotta be good at what you do, even if you're not good at it. Do your best. I'm willing to forgive all sins because Anders is not hard to look at. So they did a tag tiger shark from the last time Adam Devine did a special, and it showed up in a place where they're like, oh my God, is this like a mega tiger site? So they're gonna go back, and he brings his friends, because that's what you do. You bring your friends. Something fun happens. So they need to verify the site by finding signs of feeding, pupping, and mating. If I could make a request, I think it would be that the Shark Week announcers never say nookie again. It made me very physically uncomfortable. Austin Gallagher's regular glasses saved my life. I need his glasses guy. I don't need glasses, but I need his glasses guy. They're like thick and see-throughy, and I bet my mom had them in the 80s, and oh my God, I love them so much. Wear them all the time, Austin. Well done. And then they're gonna DJ for sharks, so they're playing like party rock. It's not for me. It's not for me. It's not for me. It can't all be for me. It should all be for me, but it's not. They get to meet a baby tiger shark. Big night for babies, and the baby tiger shark starts trying to bite them. And I was like, oh, go baby, go! I'm always rooting for the sharks, always. So they got a camera, they got like a fin camera on one of the sharks, and it pops up and it's over a blue hole, which is exactly what it sounds like. And I wanna know if this is kind of like cenotes in Mexico, where it's like in that big circle, where they think the like big dino killer meteor might have hit. Are these related? Does anybody know? Is anyone watching? The giant blue hole has tiger sharks in it. And because there's males and females, they think maybe sometimes it's a sex place. So between the baby shark and the possible hookup and the eating, they're able to declare this like a mega tiger site. That might not be what they called it. I don't remember. The third and final episode of the night was Great White Double Trouble. This is about how in Australia there are two distinct populations of great white sharks that do not intermix. They don't hang out at all. And they think that they're separated east and west because Tasmania used to be attached by land before sea levels changed, and so they just don't have anything to do with each other. And the biggest difference is that on the west coast of Australia, there have been 22 fatalities in the last decade, whereas the eastern coast, there have only been 4. So like, what's going on? We're here to find out. You insulted you haven't been in the episodes? Who wants to see a dog? Lola wanted to say hi. She's usually in, isn't she? She's usually in Shark Week. She usually is. She has a new baby sister, a bull shark. Yeah, much bigger than her. Is this not what you wanted after all? You made a mistake. So they're in Australia. So obviously Paul de Gelder's there, and Riley Elliott, and Charlie Houveniers. So they're just like out there like modeling for Abercrombie, waiting for the sharks to come. They've got Dr. Paul Butcher, they've got Dave Abbott, they've got an app that is like a shark finder app. And I assume you have to have some sort of credentials to get this. But what if you don't? Sometimes the Australian accents got a little overwhelming for me and I was having a hard time really hearing what anyone was saying, but they sounded hot doing it, So the way that they're gonna be able to tell like which population they found, they have to find previously tagged sharks from different areas. So they find a tagged shark and they're like, oh yeah, we got this. So they're going to shark hotspots. They got Stewart Island, they got the Neptune Islands, and they're out trying to figure out who's around and what their differences are, why there's such a different death rate when there are accidental attacks on humans. They're down in a cage with a stereo camera that like tells you how big the shark is by looking at it. I'm like, oh man, that really puts into perspective the pool noodle they were using a couple nights ago. Shark rulers have come a long way in 3 nights. We got 2 big females back to back, drink once, drink twice, big female. So there's like a bunch of still really big sharks, but like smaller sharks. And then the water clears and like a freaking airplane shows up and swims by and it's mind-blowingly big. That's all, that's the story. So there's not like a big difference in size of sharks from east to west. And then they test for like the bite pressure. What is that called? It has nope, I just wrote pressure of bites. I hope I got it. Maybe the ones on the west side have a stronger bite, but like, no, it's pretty even. So then they're like, well, maybe it's their hunting tactics. Maybe they're trying out different things. So here's where it gets amazing. In one group, swimming together, you have male, female, and juvenile, and subadult sharks, and adult, all together. That's not normal. It doesn't usually happen. Like there's like not a precedent for that. And I almost cried. Sometimes I feel like I have like a flowers for Algernon kind of thing, but with being a nerd. Like I've been cool enough at points in my life where I'm like, you fucking nerd. Like I know, I hear it happening and I'm like, oh, you loser. But I almost cried, oh, it's amazing. Could this be a breeding ground? Could it be, what's happening here? Why are they all together? It's a miracle. So while they're in the middle of just this like huge discovery, Riley had to explain what claspers were. And there's just something really funny about someone like having this like emotional, like huge scientific accomplishment moment and having to be like, the penises, it's 2 penises. So they find that the juveniles and subjuveniles have more exploratory bites than the adults. So maybe the difference from coast to coast in the different populations is that the survivable bites are maybe just more like, oh man, what's that? As opposed to the big fucking tanks that launch themselves up and crush you to death. I was really ready for the difference in death rate to be like human error, but it didn't seem to be, which is a shock because it's almost always humans' fault. That's it for night 4 of Shark WeCap, my Shark Week recap show. I'm Shelia and I love you.